honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, little honey love? I see you. What you doing, real Sonya? What's up, Sonya? Fat Mama Sonya. What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Fat Mama Sonya? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say?
All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week, another episode of Game Dog Talk. Here with Mr. Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good. How you doing?
Real good.
Yeah.
Glad it's Friday. Talk some dogs. I can talk some dogs. I can sleep in as long as I want to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to look forward to it now.
Yeah.
I'm my own worst critic when it comes to the videos, man. I look back and man, I sound stupid and look like a crackhead or something. You know? but I'm getting a little bit more comfortable doing it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
It's harder when I do, you know, when I'm by myself and there ain't no feedback or no questions or nothing like that. Right. I do a lot of and you know.
Right.
But so I prefer, you know, group settings, you know.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just glad we can talk to these dogs, shoot the shit. We're getting a lot of feedback, man. A lot of people be hitting me up on YouTube, on Instagram, emailing and stuff. So that's good. We get a lot of feedback, a lot of questions.
Yeah, you know. A lot of support, a lot of. I get messages and even like in Messenger, you know, hey, good show. I saw you on 78 Sports the other day, this and that, you know. And some people, they even text me or message me during the day. You having a show today? Yeah, okay, I'll see you there, you know. So yeah, it's good, man. Got a lot of support.
Absolutely. Yeah, y'all smash the like button. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Let me do a quick roll call, see what we got in the building so far. Game Dog Caribbean, salute. We got City Boy Kennels. What's up, fam? AJ in the building. Stephen Lamontez Hawkins. Ty Green. Vernon Stones. Miami Snoopy 305 in the building. Donald Austin. Let's see here. Hold on. Round came through here. We got Donald Austin. We got Ty Green. Trey Malik. Mark Wonderland. We got James Hare. Live Life Real, salute. Dogman RT. Rough Jacks, Kennels. Guillory Kennels. We got did I say Dan G? Salute to Dan G. Mike Lee.
Mike.
Mr. J Love 20 Texas, salute. Daryl Smith. Young World. Jamie Abbey Tony. K-Bo. Mr. Thomas Moreland, salute to you, sir. Let's see what we got here. Wordless. BFS Kennels. Tony Gardner. Bank Statement Kennels. What's that in the bank? We got Nicholas Bronson. I just skipped on me. Let's see. B. Pauly. Robert Early. Dirt Road Kennels. Nemlon. Lefty American Pitbull Terrier. Griffin's Kennel. Salute to everybody in the building. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? Welcome down around. Big Stephen in the building. What it do, man?
Shit, what's going on with y'all? How y'all doing?
Man, good.
Man. How you doing, Ram?
Oh, pretty good, man. Can't complain. Just got done doing the cylinder heads, porting them out and shit.
Nice. Glad you could make it.
Hell yeah. Glad you could too, bro.
Good, man. I gotta, man, I'm tired too, but I'm glad though. Talk to these dogs so much. I was getting sleepy, man. You know how it is when you eat your dinner, you watch the TV and it's cold and it's dark. You like start dozing off and shit.
Sleep start throat checking your ass, taking you out.
Yeah. That's the itis and shit. What's up, troll killer, Mr. Sheldon? What do you do, man? All right. So we got a few questions today. Let me scroll up on these questions and see.
Yeah. Let me ask that question to Ram real
Oh yeah,
quick,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I had someone ask me, Ram, they wanted some clarity. Remember how you talking about working the dog on a meal?
Yeah.
Yeah, they was wondering if do you do sets? Do you put them on there and then take them off to cool them down and then put them back on, or do you let them cool down on the fly, as they're working, or do you do both?
No, I take them off just because how I use the mill, I just want that explosiveness so I could better my recovery and keep my heart rate up while I'm doing, maximum stress loads. So I take them off and, cool them off. And the longer into the program, the shorter it takes for them to cool off. Like, in the beginning, it might take up to 10 minutes, to cool off. But by the end of we done getting close to the date, it'll be like, when I'm good and I'm on my shit, 30 seconds. But, between a minute and 2 minutes is average for me as far as getting them to recover. And that's how I do it. That's how I learned how to do it. It's not the only way to do it, though. I've seen people have success with letting them set their own pace on the meal, too. That's just how Robert Lim showed me how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that how you're talking about, it takes them shorter to cool off at the end than it does at the beginning. That's pretty much standard, I feel, with whatever kind of work you're doing. When you do the sprints or you do fast paced shit, that's
exactly. The way I do it is just more technical because I'm writing down the times and all that. But the recovery is the recovery. The best way you can get it, do it that way.
Yep.
Because I've been on the losing end of my conditioning program too. It's not the end all be all.
Yeah. Me too. I'll raise my hand to that. Yep. One, please.
Facts.
Yeah. You just, as you learn, and get better at it, you don't screw up so much. That's all it is,
That's all.
You're more consistent,
Yep. Just with practice. That's what I always say. Like during our summertime show, just practice is key.
Yep.
That way when it's really time to get down, you can skip past all the bullshit.
Yep.
Salute to Smooth Monty. And that super chat came through showing love. Much love and much appreciation, man. He said salute. Salute to your family.
Yeah, a lot of people showing up. That's good. We appreciate it, guys and gals.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see what we got here. Question number 1. Is feeding raw and kibble together okay? Or will it upset a dog's stomach? We can start with you. Welcome down, Ram.
Hell yeah, it's okay. They're going to digest it at different times, but the food is going to get digested, I kind of do that in the winter times when it get real cold. That way they can, their body temperature rise when they digest in the food rather. So it actually helps them, a slower digesting food because their body temperature stay at a higher temperature during the night, when it's at its peak coldness. But this motherfucker's feeding goddamn cat food and spaghetti, and they curve still alive. You feel me?
Man, I had I feed my dogs kibble and raw all the time. I love to mix some good kibble with some fucking hamburger meat and shit sometimes. I mean, I do it like especially in the wintertime. That's mainly when I do it. Summertime you can like let off on that shit. You ain't really gotta feed them like that. But wintertime out here get real cold. I like to keep some extra calories on them and shit like that. And yeah, I never had an issue with it. You know what I'm saying? What about you, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, it's fine. However you want to feed them, as long as it's good feed, a balanced diet, it's good. There's nothing wrong with mixing the two. The only thing with when you introduce new food, it takes them a while to get used to it. But ain't gonna hurt them, man. And like with raw, a lot of people, because of the way the diet is, you're giving them all kinds of shit, so they're kind of used to eating anything anyways,
Right.
different proteins, different fats, different kind of, or they double up on it, this and that. But no, there ain't no there ain't nothing wrong with it. You know, it could be more cost effective to you. You know, if you're feeding raw kibble, you know, and it's a good feed, that's good. And you throw some raw in there, it's just a little extra. You know, the raw won't affect their coming up, you know, gaining weight as much as it would if you were giving them, you know, increasing the kibble too. So there's that. You know, it's not expensive. I don't know, maybe now it got more expensive because the way shit is, but it's not that much more expensive. Or some people say it's less expensive. You know, it just depends on what kind of kibble you're feeding. So the high dollar kibbles, it might be cheaper to go raw. You know.
Yeah.
I've you know, I tell people I use kibble, you know, in my keep, and you know, my buddy fed all raw. We were both successful, so you know, mixing it ain't gonna hurt. I don't think. I've never heard of it.
Right. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you know, you gotta just try out some stuff, man, and see. I miss a lot of myths out here. You know, people. I remember I did a video showing like a couple years ago, maybe a year ago. I don't know. Did a video showing how I feed my dogs in winter. I had like a big piece of hamburger meat on top of the kibble, and somebody came to the comments and was like, "Oh, fucking rookie mistake. That's you can't feed kibble." And I'm like, "All right, dude. I've been doing this shit my whole life, but okay, you smart. I'm dumb. I get it. All right."
Yeah. The most of that, it's a good thing you brought that up, because most of that comes from what people read or hear, or somebody tells them. You know, they don't actually test it. You know,
Right.
they just go by what someone says. You know, it's, and anything you feed, you're gonna find some negative with it. It don't matter whether it's raw, cooked, kibble, you know, higher percentage protein and fat, lower percentage protein and fat. Somebody's going to criticize it. The only way to do it, to find out the results, is test it and see. If you see the results are good with your dog, use it. If there's something about it you don't like, change it. It's that simple. There's so many ways to feed, and throughout the history of the breed, even raw, going back to the 40s, people fed raw. That there ain't one way that's best. But all the critics, I doubt if they you know, go through the process of testing. It's like Purina, you know, some of their dog food is shit, but they have 40 to 60 dogs that they test all their products on all the time. They're one of the few companies that does that.
Right.
You know, in high numbers like that. And they're probably the biggest dog food company in the world. So they themselves, they have some products that are better than others, you know.
Right.
But nobody hardly does that, you know. I did it on my own dogs when I was feeding the, you know, Purina High Pro. Then I changed to Neutral Max, but I wouldn't recommend Neutral Max now, because they changed the recipe. They sold the company and changed the recipe. But I could see the difference, you know. And the way I tested it was in the traditional manner. You can't do that now, but you can do it with exercise, or you know, you check their urine, you check their stool, look at their, you know, their muscles and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So there's no one way. It's best.
Another question we have here is, what is the true definition, or separation between staff bull, old family red nose, and the American Pit Bull Terrier, or is it one? We can go back to you on that one, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, the all those three that are mentioned all come from the same dog, right? The only difference between them would be the staffs when they got away from the competition side of it. So those dogs, you know, as we move forward in history, were more of the show dog type. They're standard. They all have to look the same, and they all have to be a certain size and all that stuff. But OFRN and pit bulls, that wasn't, you know, they still used them in competition. You know, if you go from, you know, Leitner all the way to Hemphill. Hemphill made them popular. Other people used it, Wise, and and some of the other ones I forget. Anyways, between the pit bull and the OFRN is a pit bull, and the only difference, like I said, would be the staffs. They got away from the competition. That doesn't mean there haven't been good staffs. There has. It's just the percentages went down because they weren't bred for that anymore.
Right.
But they all come from fighting stock. It's just what was done with them. It's like in today's time. You can't do what we used to do in the past.
Right.
So that could change the nature of the dog. That's just inevitable. I'm not condoning it or dog fighting, none of that stuff. It's just the way it is.
Right.
So we have to, that's why I always recommend people get involved in shows and legal sports. Do something with them, hog hunting. Do something with them. If nothing else, just for their health and constitution. Their soundness. Do something with your dog.
Right. It's big. What you say walking down around about what's the difference between the staffies and the old family red nose and the American pit bull? What American pit bull terrier, if there is a difference?
Man, it is a difference, and I gotta agree with Mr. Garcia. The old family red nose and the American pit bull terrier, them is one and the same. You could find a good old family red nose bred dog right now and it's still in its true form if you know where to look. The staff, though, like Mr. Garcia said, that shit has been bred just for show. So it's going to change the attitude of the dog and everything, Back in the day, before they, split them off and decided to call the pit bull a staff just for show, they was pretty much close to the same dogs, Like you look at some of them old staff pedigrees on Peds online and you'll see it's a lot of Henry dogs that's registered as staffs, and we know, those was never ever staffs like that, in the traditional sense. They just register them as that because some people wanted to show them in the show ring, which is cool, But the other two, like I said, the pit bull and the OFRN, them is the same dog. So the difference would be between the American Staffordshire Terrier and the American Pit Bull Terrier. One is for show, one is for go. Now, you could find some good English bred staffs that's still out there, in the field hunting and stuff, and still the true form, and they look exactly like some shrunk down versions of our dogs, So you got to just kind of be mindful with which Staffordshire Terrier you're talking about when you bring that up, too. And that's my take on that.
Yeah, I like those little staffies, man. Those some nice looking dogs. When they it's nice looking dogs. I like them.
Yeah, they're neat little dogs. The UKC, which is the registry that came up with the name American Pit Bull Terrier, they actually had sanctioned fights back in the day, up until 1935, I think. So for it to be a recognized show, you had to have a sanctioned UKC referee at the thing, Right. I think if you read the old what was his name, Pilot, his famous match that he had on there, I think they mentioned that the name of the UKC referee that called it.
Right.
So up until about 1935 is when everything changed. They stopped sanctioning matches, and it went, and like Ram said, the Henry dogs, which ended up becoming the Tacoma line for the staffs. Yeah, they were real pit dogs, back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tacoma dogs looking good. I've seen some descendants of that stuff still look good.
Yeah, they're beautiful dogs, man. Mm-hmm. They're put up real well.
Smooth Monty in the super chat. Much love, much appreciation. Appreciate that love, man. He says, thoughts on fasting once a week on a dog that's not in keep. What you mean? You mean like just skipping the day of feeding?
Yeah,
no, yeah.
That's what he means. Yeah, they some people do
dry
that.
day. Yeah. I do dry days in the summer, just to help with the weight management when it gets so fucking hot out here. I give them a dry day just to clean them out and shit like that. But it's not a totally dry day because I'll give them like a soup with just different nutrients in it, you know, so they ain't just out there starving for a whole day, but they not getting no meat or no kibble, you know, for that day, but they still get some nutritional value.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. You know, it cleans them out. They say, you know, it ain't gonna hurt them. You know,
Yeah,
not
ain't
that
gonna hurt
much. You know, like you mentioned there, I wouldn't do it in keep, but
No,
you know,
never in key. Hell
yeah,
no. Fuck no.
yeah,
Because you could fall underweight when you start getting, you know, to the longer days in your keep. You'll fall underweight. You'll have to
yeah,
increase the food to
yeah,
stay on your weight.
yeah,
So yeah, missing a day, hell no. You might could be detrimental during keep.
yeah.
exactly.
I do that. I actually heard about the dry day from Thompson years ago, and I said, let me try that. And shit, that was some of the best shit I ever tried, man. Because the dogs they just to me, from my dogs, they all seem like healthier and shit. Like I don't know if it's just mental, or it's in my mind or some shit, but like that one day, you know. And then another thing they do too, uh, from that dry day is when I like yesterday, my dogs like I didn't eat nothing yesterday. They had water and shit. You know what I mean? Got to go out and play and all that shit. But they ain't eat nothing. Feed them today. Yeah, they ain't got they. They're going right to that bowl, boy. They're gonna fuck that food right on up. They ass is hungry. They ain't got no
Yeah,
time for no bullshit today. Trying to
yeah,
eat. But
yeah,
in the wintertime, I usually as it get colder, I feed them every day though. Feed them a lot. And shit. So you know what I mean. But once it
yeah,
get to spring and summer, weather break, that's when I go back to the dry day and shit.
yeah. Some people say it detoxifies them. You know, I don't know. A little research would answer that question. I could see how it could do that. You know.
Yeah, I'll do some blood work next summer when I start it back up and see, you know, the difference between the ones I do it with and the ones I don't. That'll be some good information to get.
Yeah, there you go. Put it in the chat, man. That's smart.
Yeah, oh, yeah, hell yeah, I do that shit next summer.
Yeah, I never think of shit like that. Man.
Let's see. What you say? What do you think of Camelot? Uh, Camelot 45 pounds, 18 inches high, condition instead of Camelot standard. I'm not familiar with Camelot dogs. You know.
That's them big old dogs, right? Them big old wanna be
That's,
a whopper and all them dogs.
I think that's what you're talking about. Unless you're talking about some different shit. 'Cause I know it was two different Camelots. One of them was some game stuff, and another one was some of the stuff that Nino had in him, the big ass dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I only seen big ass Camelot dogs at the weight pool event, so that's as far as my knowledge go of them. They just so goddamn big. I would never want one just to have to feed that big motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here. Let me go to the next question. Should breeders be willing to give info on what traits to expect from a puppy you're buying, good or bad traits? You know what I'm saying? Should the breeder be willing to discuss those things with
Like
you?
bad traits like a chain fighter or house biter, shit like that, yeah. You know, but anything else, if fuck no. Don't be talking about nothing else. You especially to a motherfucker you don't know. You know, just tell them the good or the bad. These motherfuckers smart. They easy to train. You know, the grandpa was an asshole. He only liked people who lived in the house. Basic shit like that, yeah. Anything else is uncivilized, though.
Yeah. What do you say, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, I mean, you know, depending on how long the breeder has been breeding his family of dogs, he should give as much information as he can about them. You know, size, structure, temperament, behavior. You know, whether they're good workers, have, you know, certain things about them. You know, but like we said in the last video or the one before that, if you start asking the wrong questions, if the breeder's smart, he'll just hang up on you.
Right.
And you know, people want to know all that stuff. If you're talking about the past and you know them dogs from the past, that's okay. Like, you know, we could talk about Grand Champion Art, 7-time winner, you know, hit all the marks, champion, grand champion, ROM, all that. name all the dogs he produced. He had a son, Grand Champion Mike, and 2 Champion Lukes off of him, and that's okay. But don't talk about current stuff, because that's going to get you in trouble, you know. And like I said, people ain't going to tell you, and you should have enough sense not to ask that. You know it's illegal, you know.
Right.
But as far as, you know, if you're buying a puppy, the puppy should come healthy, dewormed, vaccinated if it's old enough, you know, to have 1 set of shots or 2 or 3 depending on the age, you know, and it should have a pedigree with it. That's it, you know. Anything other than that, if you want to know family traits like the ones I mentioned, that's fine too, but all that other shit, don't even bother.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with both of you. I think that you know, when you buy puppies, you gotta be first. You gotta know what you're buying, know the blood. If the father, you know what I'm saying, is a champion, you know what I mean, then you don't ask the breeder, you know, how did the father perform and how this. Don't ask that, because you're putting him in a situation to where he could be accused of breeding dogs and selling them for legal purposes. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to do that. You got to just, you know what you're buying, trust the blood, and go from there. Like, you got to take a chance like everybody else, because if you start talking like that, you know, just too loosey goosey, and you know, is this a stifle dog? Is he more of a head dog? Yeah, I mean, shit, you trying to get somebody locked up, man. You know what I mean?
And or yourself, you know, if
Right.
they ain't a cop, you know, if they're a show champion, you know, or a weight pool champion, or a
Right.
red mill race champion, then yeah, you could give that information. That's all. I think Grand Champion Yantas, you know, who we talk all the time, that, you know, beat Red Jack. I think his mama was a Grand Champion show dog, I think. Yeah, and that's all right. But that other stuff,
Yeah, you gotta be careful in your communicating with people, breeders, about the dogs. Don't get, you know, some people is real cool, and you know, you shoot the shit with them, but the moment you say the wrong thing, they'll start doing shit like, my connection, I can't hear you. Hey,
yeah.
They'll start doing that
If
kind
they
of shit.
if they're nice people, they'll just hang up on you. If they
Yeah.
ain't nice people, they're gonna motherfuck you, you know. As they're hanging up,
Man,
you're gonna hear the echo.
motherfucker, what the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing with it? You know.
You stupid motherfucker, don't never call me.
There you go.
Right.
I think Yantas, though, he was a show champion too, though.
Who's that?
Yantas.
Yeah, he was. I
Yep.
feel bad. I feel bad about this too, because there's a story with that, and he was up against I forget who it was. Anyways, it was for best in show, you know, or no, it was you know, first place, second place, third place, and I don't know why, man. I gave Yantas a second place.
Damn.
Yeah. I felt bad afterward. I told Roque this and that. I go, I just want to, you know, I didn't want to be biased. You know, they know that we're friends and all that stuff, and I try to be neutral. So he understood. He wasn't mad about it, but every time I see him, I apologize. You know. But yeah, he was a show champion. Yeah, sure was.
Yeah, I remember seeing him at shows. That's when I first met him at the shows, because he was the only other black dog there that was looking good. We used to bring our black dog Mickey to the shows and was winning and shit. Then Yantas came around, good looking young pup.
Yeah, good looking. Even as an old dog, you know, we talk about conditioning dogs. He was 10 or 11 years old, and they had a tug of war thing there. Man, he worked it like he was a 3-year-old dog. Nothing but pure power and intensity, and that dog, man.
Yeah, I got a
didn't look like an
picture
old
with
dog.
Yantas. Yeah, when he was real old, he might have been like 10 or 11. His whole face was great, but he was still strong.
Still strong,
like,
man. He was yanking on that thing, man.
Yeah, that dog, he was strong probably to the day he checked out, man.
Yeah.
Real strong, just a well-built Eli dog, how, you know, the old Eli dogs look. He was a good representation of that.
Well, when he died, he refused to die like 2 or 3 times, man. He would come in and out, and Roque would say, "Oh, he's gone." And fucker would wake up, man, and come back.
Like, I ain't gone, motherfucker. I'm still here.
Yeah. He scratched all the way to the end, man. Yeah.
Like every hair. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably one of the gamest dogs I've seen, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Be in boxing news. What's up, bro? Salute to you. In the super chat, man, he says, "What age should a dog be neutered? Is it good to do?" Well, if you don't wanna breed the dog, you know what I mean, and you don't wanna take chances with the dog, you know, uh, being bred too. I think, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with neutering. That's in my opinion. You know what I mean? If you don't wanna breed the dog, just wanna chill with your dog, have a good pet. Ain't nothing wrong with that. What you say, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, for the same reason you said, if somebody want to do it. To be clear, I would never do it, you know. And some people, I understand, they do it, especially if say they're going to cull it from their breeding program. They don't want to kill the dog. They want to give it away, so they neuter it and give it to someone else. You know, I wouldn't do that. That's just me. But
Right.
yeah, you know, for the reasons you mentioned, you know, you don't want the dog to breed and all that, neuter it. As far as the age goes, they're starting to neuter them way too young, man. 3 months, 6 months, 4 months, like that. That's way too young to neuter them because they're not developed yet. You know, they're still immature. Let them get it up to at least close to a year before you do that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and same with my females. I never spayed them. You know, I didn't give any dog. You know, like let's say a dog that quit, I wouldn't give them away. And a lot of people do that. I don't have a problem with it. They ain't gonna call their dogs no dog. That's fine. And that's what they do. They give them to friends or family or anybody that wants it, you know, and they neuter it so their blood don't get out and there's no accidental breedings or anything like that, you know.
Right.
But now I see them, you know, like I said, 4 months old, neutering them or spaying them. That's way too young, not healthy.
What you say, Ram?
Man, again, I gotta totally agree. You know, I only neutered one dog, and he was real old and started getting testicular cancer. So to try to, you know, extend his life, and he wasn't producing anymore, we got him neutered. And, you know, that helped. He lived another like year and a half, something like that, before, you know, the cancer came back and took him. But, you know, he was a good old dog. You gotta scratch for him because he, you know, gonna scratch for you all them years ago. But other than that, you know, I don't do it. You know, but if you want just a pet, you know, or something like that, or you adopting dogs and all that shit, they come neutered. You ain't planning on breeding them. I don't see what the big deal is. You know, other than like Mr. Garcia said, you do it too young, and you be getting a lot of bully looking dogs. You know, be all fat and full of estrogen and shit. So, you know, maybe wait a year, let their body develop, let that testosterone give them some muscle definition and shit before you take it away. That's just my take on that.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. What's up, Tay Brown? Sugar Tay Brown up in here. Who else we got up in here? All right. Let me go to this next question. Well, Tay asked the question. She want to know, does neutering it change the dog's hormones?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You neuter him, he not going to produce a lot of the testosterone needed for a male. That's why they get fat, you know, and be looking all crazy. Same with the females. They produce too much estrogen and get fat. So, yeah, it do change their hormone balance as far as the physicalities go. They mental state, you know, I don't know because I'm not been around neutered dogs long enough to see, you know, how they acted when they first got neutered until, you know, the time they died. Because I don't neuter dogs other than, you know, it's got to be like, this nigga got nut cancer. So you want to fuck or you want to die, you know?
Yeah.
But,
My brother-in-law, he got a dog that he got neutered or whatever. I be fucking with him. I told him he got the first transgender dog and shit. He be mad as fuck. Man, shut up, man. Fuck this shit. So the next question we got.
That's cold. You asshole for that. That's funny though.
Yeah, man. Dog be wearing. He be having that dog wearing sweaters and shit. Sweaters and like little boots and shit. Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah, he holds that dog out.
Yeah, you ought to
That
tell them.
dog.
Imagine how your dog feels, dude. We
Right,
we just making fun of him. The dog got to go through all that shit.
right.
You know you supposed to have some nuts. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel right.
I'm just
Right.
using this thing to pee. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
This motherfucker go to the dog park, don't know where he supposed to be. He don't know if he's supposed to be with the bitches. He don't know if he's supposed to be with the dudes. He just like
Yeah,
walking. He in the corner by himself and shit.
yeah, he's confused.
Let me see here. Um, can the panel speak on Invicto blood? What you think about Invicto blood, Ram?
Man, I come from the home of bolio shit, so I never went out the country to look for no bolio shit. I barely had to leave the state to look for it unless I wanted like the Coca-Cola stuff. But that was just, one state up. It's supposed to be good blood though, but again, like the dogs come from here. They might be good where they at, but they still come from here. I could go to the same source he got the Invicto from and get the same type of dogs, if not better. That's always been my motto of how I seen shit. That's why I never got dogs from out the country or, bred to dogs like that unless it came from a good kennel who worked it, that I could personally talk to. But it's supposed to be good blood. I hear the black Invicto stuff's supposed to be good, but I don't know. I've never owned any of it, never even really seen any of it. And if I might have, I never asked, how the dog bred or none of that shit. That ain't my get down, you know. So I can't speak on that, bro, and give it a fair assessment because I don't know.
Okay, okay. What's your thoughts, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, pretty much the same. All I can say is what I hear. In Central and South America, I heard Invicto cross with the Big John stuff. What's that? Wakama, I think.
Right.
Uh, it's supposed to be good, but I don't know. I'm like Ram. If I did see it, I didn't know it was that. I might have thought, the dog itself was a Bolio type bred dog, but I wouldn't know if it's that blood or something else. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Victor is pretty much just. I think the guy. I can't remember if he said he just got a dog or he was thinking about getting one. Either way, but it's a heavy bolio dog, little tombstone in there, but it's a heavy bolio dog.
Yeah.
Pat Patrick bred dog. They got real famous and shit down there in South America and stuff. Um, yeah, I mean I'll see, man, because uh, I got access to one of them, a female. Um, I ain't looked at her yet. I ain't did nothing with her. I'm trying to put no babies in her or nothing like that. But she, um, I'll find out, I guess. What they're doing. But I heard, from what I hear, it's like hit and miss in America with them. Like it's been so many, uh, like they was bred so much in South America. Like I heard that they shipped the shitty ones to America and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I heard. But kind of how
Yeah.
Americans be doing over shipping shitty ass dogs overseas, and they fuck around and turn them into something. Let's see here. Let's see. Another question we got. Let's see. Does a dog need strength training, or can it just be meal work for hunting conditioning? We start with you, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, strength training is good. Does it need it? Sometimes that depends on the style of the dog. A strong, powerful dog, yeah. Maybe a fast mover, thinner type, don't need as much. With my own dogs, most of them were, I concentrated on power and speed. Those two things besides all the other stuff that people talk about. But I had one or two that were like good defensive fighters. So all I did was do more road work with them and less strength work, you know, because that was their forte. Was they needed to be fast and move around a lot, use all four corners. And you can there's different ways to do strength work too. You know, I did it like I mentioned, you know, that baiting thing, and some
Right.
people drag weights. You can do it with the carpet mill, you know. Some now even, you know, things advance, you know. Some use bungee cords and have them pull, you know, it gets that resistance, you know. And even some dogs, the way they run a mill, they're even a slat mill, man, they're gonna build some strength up, you know, just depends. One of the I would say in recent years, one dog I saw work the slat. That dog was an expert at it, you know. I'll just say that. And he loved that mill, and he ran it like if he was Usain Bolt, man. But yeah, they a lot of times it depends on the physique and the ability of the individual.
Right.
But I did both, you know. Built up their wind, worked on their strength, and some of them, like Graham mentioned before, some work on their strength first and then build up their wind. You know, it depends what works for you. Practice, like he's always saying, practice.
Right. What you say, Ram?
Man, hell yeah. Especially how my conditioning program was. That's why I would do all my heavy lifting first. You know, because we do a lot of wind sprints, a lot of just high energy, you know, explosive shit all day. So, you know, with all the mill work we do, you can lose a lot of strength. So that's why I do mine first. So I do, you know, at least 2 weeks of strength and conditioning. That way I can run off that bulky, acidic blood building muscle off and turn it into lean, you know, oxygen rich muscle, but still keep the strength, you know. So I'll do all the heavy lifting first, and then boom, run off all the bulkiness. And when I was on my shit, you know, everything worked perfectly. But days I fuck around and skip leg day and shit, that shit show up, you know. So yeah, I did both, you know. But that's just my type of conditioning. I know some people would use just a carpet mill, and then, you know, them old COLBY carpet mills turn like a goddamn slat mill. So they knew how to work that pretty good, get the dog up to a fast pace on that, and still, you know, be able to tighten up the tension on it and shit, and that way it's harder to move, and they can do their strength work on that too. It just depends, you know, who the conditioner is at that point and what's his message and his theology behind this conditioning program, you know. Everybody that's successful got their own good way of doing shit.
My buddy had his was a most unique treadmill I ever seen. He used, you know how you use roller blade wheels for the carpet or the slat or whatever.
Yep.
His was a carpet. Yep. He used them rollerblade wheels all the way. Even the ones up front, what are they called? Like the, you know, like the rotors or whatever they are.
Yeah, the wheel hubs.
Yeah, wheel hubs. Them were small too, man. That was, and then he put it at a 45-degree angle. And
that's interesting right there. I would like to see that. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
It was crazy, man. And he'd get his dog to run it, you know. And it's all building them up to that. We'll get into that probably in the next one of the next questions. I know you have there, but yeah, that was crazy, man. If you wanted to test your dog to see what kind of shape they're in, we go over there and take the dog and see how long they can do it. Some of them can't do 5 minutes, you know. Even if you think they're in good shape, you know, it's a whole different trip.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I might want to try to build one like that.
Yeah,
because I know where to get like lengths of the wheels with the bearings on them already at for a good price. I don't need none now that my Chandler mill built so solid. Like them wheels roll forever as long as I keep them clean. My annual cleaning. The old Chandler mill built like an old Dodge, you know, and not Al Bundy's Dodge, the ones before that.
Salute to Doug. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I had a 318, man. They ran forever, you know.
Yeah, hell yeah. If you can find it, it's probably still running right now.
Probably is. old Dodge pickup. The only thing, you know, and I don't want to make Ram feel bad. The only thing is, man, why do them fuckers have so much trouble starting? You know, they only got something wrong with the starter, man.
Hell yeah, man. It take a lot to start that motherfucker.
Yeah. You have to turn it over, this and that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It just, man.
Yeah,
you know.
but yeah, there's not no quick getaway. You know,
No.
318. Yeah, you better leave it running.
Yeah.
Salute to Doug in that super chat. Much love, much appreciation, man. He says salute 78, Mr. Garcia, Ram, and fellow dog man. Salute to you, brother.
Salute, Doug.
Salute to you. We got here. I think the next question we had was well, let me ask this one first in the chat. Someone says, is the American Pit Bull Terrier there is barrel chested a bad trait? Ram?
Man, no, not really. If he, like, you see that dog in my picture, that's champion old dog right before he made championship. He had a nice big barrel chest, but he was, you know, a nice rangy and long dog too. So that actually helped because, you know, he was able to suck in more air. That's like putting a turbocharger. You could even turbocharge a Mustang and it's going to be fast, you know. But if he a little short, squatty dog, I don't know. It could hinder him, you know, because it'll make him wider. But if, you know, he a good brisket hitter or something like that, then, you know, he'd be all right. It just depends how the dog is built at that point, you know, because some standards call for a barrel chest, you know.
Right. What's your take, Mr. Garcia?
Yeah. Like Ram said, it depends on how they're built. It's not the ideal chest. You want it more deeper, you know, but just because they have a deep chest doesn't mean they have good air too, because if it's too thin, that ain't no good, you know. And if you're short and squatty and you have a barrel chest, you're not prone to have real good air like some that don't. You want it kind of like, you know, work kind of like a bellows, you know how they suck air like that, you know, right. That kind of shape, kind of, you know. But if they got some leg under them, they got a long body, and they got, you know, a little barrel chest, as long as their lungs are deep, also, they're gonna have good air. It's the short, squatty ones, you know, that have a short, stocky body. You know, in the past, the ZEBO dogs were known for being short on air, you know.
Right.
And I think some of that had to do with being inbred, and some of it, you know, the way their body is, short, stocky,
full of dense muscle. Like, yeah, I used to have a good old little ZEBO bitch, but she could not breathe to save her life. Like,
yeah.
Even when we bred her, I think, we bred her to Shumway, and them dogs were still just short, squatty. You know, they had a little bit more leg, but it wasn't enough to correct it.
Yeah. You have them negative traits, man. Sometimes they're real hard to get out of, you know, get rid of. And that's the one thing with breeding, you know, if you got some bad trait in there, it's hella hard to get rid of it sometimes. It takes 2, 3, 4 generations sometimes, you know. That's the way nature works. Whereas if you're trying to get something good, you could be, you know, like the Heinzel dog, they're notorious for having good air, you know. They're just that way, you know. And you would think you cross that in there, you get some dogs that are built more like them and got better air, and it don't happen, you know. That's common. That's why breeding's so hard, you know.
Right. Mr. C, salute to Mr. C in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation, fam. We got Jimmy Mack in the super chat. Salute to you. Much love, much appreciation, man. Thank y'all for your support. Coming through showing love. Next question. Oh, what's up? I am Trill Will. Salute to the brother in there.
What up, though, Will? With your fractured ankle having ass. Salute.
Hey, Will.
Yeah, that's my partner, man. We always be roasting on his channel and shit. I just gotta shoot him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We got the next question was, what was the shortest keep you've ever put a dog in? You Start with you, Mr. Garcia.
That was a good question. Shortest keep for me, I did a couple of them were 4 weeks. And this is what I tell people too, you know, because I regularly exercise my dogs, I was able to do that because, you know, let's say they could run 5 miles, no problem. Like they ain't even gonna be breathing heavy after that. So what I could do with a dog like that is continue with that at that 5 mile. Did I say 5 week? 5 mile is what I meant. 5 mile distance, and then build it up from there. You know,
Right.
Let's say my dog, you know, they can do that 5 miles easy. If I had an 8-week keep coming up, I just start them at the beginning. You know, I wouldn't start them at the 5 mile mark. I go back to the beginning and just do a whole keep like that over 8-week period. But yeah, I did a couple 4 weeks. If you look in the past, you know, all them keeps, most of them were 28 days, 30 days, you know. Again, I don't know. I don't know if that's what they really did, you know, or that's what they want people to believe, you know, or if they had them in some kind of shape when they did that 4-week keep. Some of the misinformation, even keeps like that, you know, where you read like Armitage and, you know, whoever, they're doing it on purpose. I'm not saying Armitage did, but some of them are giving you that misinformation on purpose. Because even back then, say 1930s, it's advertised, you know, their opponents are going to see that. And it may just be some misinformation they're giving, or they're not giving you the whole keep, saying, you know, I spent 4 weeks bringing them down to weight before I started that 4-week keep. You know, you can do it. I'll say this, and I don't want to encourage anybody with anything, but we know it's common that people use enhancers, right?
Right.
Okay, so with enhancers, you can't do a 4-week keep. It's not long enough.
Right.
It's not going to work. It has to be all natural. You know, no steroids, none of that stuff. But yeah, that's the shortest. I did it 3 times. One time, I collected a forfeit, so you know, I didn't have to go through with it. But 2 other times I did that. People want to catch me short, you know, they do that a lot, and I had no problem, man. Yeah, whatever. 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever you want, you know. Right. I did that a couple times.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Ram with this too. It's like that's an interesting question because I know a few people who claim that, you know, they only got a couple dogs though, you know, 1 or 2 dogs, and they claim they used to keep their dogs in relatively good shape for in case they had to put them in a 4-week keep, or they only had 4 or 6 weeks. The dogs would be able to respond to that better. You know what I mean? You know, what do you say to that, Ram?
Yeah, I totally agree. Because like Mr. Garcia was just saying, they would say, you know, a 30-day keep, that's all I did. And their opponents reading that. So their opponents might try to, you know, catch them lacking, you know, and only just work their shit for maybe, you know, instead of 30 days, they might work the shit 40 days. When, you know, Armitage, he was working his shit for a whole 2 months, you know. He did what he printed twice. He just, you know, might have reversed it when he got to the end and worked it back down. But he wouldn't tell you that. I wouldn't either. The same thing goes. Like, you know, it's better to, for one, any type of athlete, be it a soccer player, whatever, you don't really never see them too far fat off the chain like that, you know. Even in the off season, they stay pretty fit. So that would be common practice to keep your dog, you know, close to whatever his goal weight would be, you know, within no more than 3, maybe 4 pounds, depending on where you at and what time of the year it is, of course. But that's common practice, really. What was the other part of the question?
No, that was it.
What's the shortest keep you did?
Oh, it probably was like 6.5 with a replacement. But the replacement, you know, was already in decent shape again because he was an old chain runner and it was my dog, You know, they was litter mates. One just fucked his pads up real bad. And here comes his brother, pretty close to the same weight on the chain, same go weight, you know. So yeah, 6 weeks, but the dog was pretty close to being like I could have took him to a ADBA show and won, you know. As far as he looked, he was pretty close in shape. So that 6 weeks, it wasn't shit. But again, that was when I only keep a few dogs, so I could really, you know, condition dogs, you know, every other day just for regular maintenance type shit, because I didn't have a whole bunch of dogs to do it with.
One of the best I've seen, that's his standard keep is 6 weeks. And, you know, he prepped them before that, got them, you know, he first get a dog or one of his own dog, he makes sure it could do his keep, you know. And that's another thing, people argue that point or give opinion on it. Him, if the dog can't do his keep, he's not going to use it. He don't give a shit what dog it is, who's even one of his own. He's just not going to do it. He wasn't the type to, you know, well, I got to try this different, that. No, motherfucker, you do it the way I say, or I ain't using it. That's just the way he was. But his standard keep is 6 weeks, was 6 weeks. You know, he's one of the best. But
hey, some people like that though. They just will that shit, motherfucker. Everybody gonna get in line. God damn it, this is what expected of you.
Yeah.
And if you can master that, you a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, I got to be that way with my dog, you know, which is, you know, I introduced them to all what, you know, my keep from young age, you know. And like I said before, they'd see the older dogs do it, or, you know, they'd be around them, and they just picked up on it right away. It was never a problem. And I have used dogs that wouldn't work for shit. I just, you know, at one point, I just stopped doing it. Not fun for me. It's not a badge of honor for me. It's not impressive. You know, other people, they're impressed by it. Hey, you can get this dog to, in condition, you know, change this and change that, do this different than that. Maybe I'm too lazy, but that I like dogs that work hard. And that's one thing that me and this old timer agreed on. You know, we always, people look at us funny because we're agreeing on the same thing. Fuck them dogs if they don't want to work. I ain't gonna use them, you know. Kind of harsh, but that's just the way it is, you know. On another note, you know, Tudor used to advertise that he would match you 10 days to 30 days. So, and you know, I'm sure he would, you know, but that just means he had his dogs ready all the time, you know, whichever ones he was going to use. And you know, if you wanted to hook up in 10 days, he'd be right there to whip your ass. 30 days, fine. You know, it's just in the past, most of them, when they hooked them up for whatever reason, was you know, you got them hooked up 30 days before the show, way in the past. Later on, like during, you know, the Cajun conventions or big conventions they'd have, you know, Gaboon Trahan and Keel and all them guys, they let people, they put the, you know, advertisement out for the convention months and months ahead of time, so they could get it all, you know, together, know how many people they're going to feed, and how, you know, what weights they're going to have, what order they're going to put them in by weight, you know. So as time went on, they would advertise them for months ahead of time. But way back in the day, 30 days, that was it. Call somebody up, boom, do it.
Somebody in the chat asked a question about the pros and cons of using steroids on the dogs, and somebody else had a comment and said, that's crazy with the enhancements. It takes longer. Sounds a bit backwards. But that's because a lot of the enhancers, not all of them take a long, some of them are fast acting, but most of them are slower because they're attached to an ester. The hormones are attached to an ester, and the ester is that dictates how it's released in the body. So it might take like 2 weeks for the drug to build up in the system and shit like that. And so it takes longer sometimes. And then, you know, other ones might take even longer than that. Some of them take like 4 weeks to, you know, but once you find that sweet spot, them motherfuckers be popping, man. But, you know, you got to be an expert, know what you're doing with that kind of shit. Or you can fuck your dog up doing that shit too. You know?
Definitely. More, I would say more dogs are harmed by it than help. And I'm not saying they don't help. Most people that use them will tell you, you know, they use it for recovery and, you know, during the workout and for soreness and all this stuff, you know, and it helps, you know, however it helps. There's side effects to everything, you know. So when it comes to that, you really have to know what you're doing. I never used them, you know, ever. I didn't want to put that in my dogs. That's just me. Most people back in the day did, you know. Some of them did it wrong. You know, a good percentage. They weren't familiar with it. So, but back in the day, if I did, you know, ever think about using them, there's only one person I would go to because he had 20 years experience using them on himself and his dog. And he knows everything about it. He'll talk over my head and say shit. I can follow along. I understand what he's saying, but he knows every in and out of every, you name it, whether it's Winstall, Strahl, Dianabol, Anavar, you know, Duradecabol, and all of them.
Right.
So, you know,
hook me up with him. I'm finna roid up for the winter and come back next summer looking like Big Took.
Yeah, and just, you know, you can get a lot of information. You could pick up a medical book, Merck manual or whatever, a human medical book. You can read everything about it. But unless you talk to someone that really knows what they're doing, you're still going to mess up with that information, you know. And I know people that have used them for years, 10, 15 years, and they'll come to a point where they tell me, you know, Richard, all them years I was using them wrong. And now I finally learned how to use them right, you know.
Yeah, that enhancement game is different. Out of all the dogs, man, I only know 3 who really know what the fuck they doing.
Yeah.
And I never used it either, though. That's because you gotta be a fucking, like somebody said in the chat right now, you damn near gotta be a scientist with that shit. Like one dude I know, he a bodybuilder, he uses them on himself, and again his dog too, but he know what the fuck he doing. You know, he's a physical fit trainer. Yeah, for real.
Same with my friend. He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And he knows how to use them on himself, his dog, but you know, he learned from people that knew too, and he learned from nutritionists and doctors and all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
the other 2 I know, that's how they learned, you know, just went in and studied everything of it, every different one, every aspect. You think, you know, they could fuck around and make their own shit, you know.
Yeah. I think I mentioned it before, you know, it was mentioned before. It can cause, you know, there's side effects to it, but there's side effects to everything. My attitude is this, you know, there's nothing that replaces good natural work, good natural feed, and the constitution of breeding solid dogs over a long period of time. You know, the best, I'll say this, in other endeavors, you know, some of the best conditioners tried all that stuff, and they come to a point where they don't even use it. It's not worth it to them, you know. So, you know, if somebody's going to get involved in that, you get somebody that knows, you know, the ins and outs, everything about it.
Yep. You know, and the thing is, the cons is like, once, like, if you know what you're doing, I guess some people, you can have success building the dog's strength and endurance and stuff like that, and in some cases even the dog's aggression, if you use the right stuff. But the thing is, when it comes time to breed that motherfucker later on, you're gonna have to do some serious recovery on them nuts. Serious. That's if you're lucky. If you're lucky enough to be able to see what happened to Macho Buck. Well, I ain't gonna speak on Macho Buck. You know, let me not speak on that.
Shit, Merengue too, though. You know, that Black Rock's dog, that white one they had, like, he was on the juice. They had to super recover his balls once they sold them. Yeah. You know, you could cycle on, but you got to know how to cycle off too. You know, that's just as important as staying on that, because the motherfuckers who I know who used it, like, they knew how to cycle off it too. And they never had any issues with the males or females as far as breeding went. But they would tell me exactly that, like, it's just as important cycling off the shit as it is when you on it.
Yeah.
You got to be on top of that too. You can't miss a day, none of that.
Hell yeah, that
Yeah.
should fuck that should the most important part of that shit is really the post psychotherapy and shit. People underestimate that shit because it's a dog and they're like, oh, what's a dog, you know? And fuck that, that shit'll fuck your dog up. You know what I mean? You don't get them hormones back in check. And the thing is too, like the reason why I understand why people use it, but the reason why I wouldn't use it if I was back in those days, it's because I would want to know that it was the game that's in my dog that got it done. I would want to know that, or his ability. I would want to know that. Now it's hard to say that though when you might be up against a motherfucker who doing it. Now he got unfair advantage and shit. So it's kind of it's fucked up, you know. If you do all this work and you taking your dog through natural keeps, natural shit, and you know the guy across from you, you hearing all this shit he got mad scientists in his camp and shit, and it ain't like you finna do a blood test on a dog and shit like a boxing match, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, what the fuck do you do? You know what I mean? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad.
I mean, really the trick of the juice is like you use that shit to keep you being able to work longer at that higher pace. You're not finna take this shit and turn into a goddamn super dog. So I done seen instances where cats did use it and, blue hot. They look good for the first 20, 25, and then they on the bottom getting thrashed for the rest. Again, that's if you motherfucker who know what they doing, yeah, that's your ass, Mr. Postman.
Yeah.
But most of the time, these motherfuckers don't, bro.
Yeah.
They might get the right dosage of the wrong shit. Like,
Yeah.
just because that's all they could get,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or they might get some fake shit. Cause
exactly be super oil.
Right. I was gonna say that because in Mexico got real. They got like real shit, but there's a lot of people down. They be selling people fake shit.
Yeah, they got that ready rock, not the straight drop.
Yeah, they be selling a lot of fake shit. So people be straight giving their dog placebo shit. They don't even. It ain't nothing in there but vegetable oil and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Straight vegetable oil. Your dog cholesterol higher than a bitch now.
Like a motherfucker.
I steer clear of it, man. I didn't have no problem beating some of the best, and some I lost to, But there's all that it's too much, man, for me, And I've been asked by some good dudes, man, I'll teach you how to do this. I would just turn them down. Nah, I don't want to do that to my dog. I think in the Sporting Dog Journal there was a little write up about Rebel Kennel's grand champion Samson. He could never produce a dog because he'd been on steroids since he was 13 months old.
Right.
And
damn.
He could never produce shit. He was a bad motherfucker too. So,
Yeah.
but shit like that can happen. At least I know if something goes south, it's not that. It was something else that where I fucked up. It wasn't because of the wrong use of steroids, because I didn't use them. So if that means anything, there's that.
Yep. Not all the time, but most of the time, lots of times you can tell by looking at motherfucker grown ass dog got them little baby nuts. They get that motherfucker away from me, man.
Yeah.
That little baby nuts and shit. Let me see here. Next question is, let's go to it. The guy says, I'm new to the American Pit Bull Terrier breed. A breeder is trying to sell me a puppy for $3,500 with no papers. He says papers leave a paper trail. He says, is that normal or should I go elsewhere? And he says, my Doberman has AKC papers.
Man, I've been waiting on this one all day. I say go elsewhere. If this is your first time getting a dog, you don't need to get a dog from a person like that, because he might be going to the woods with his shit. And if this your first pit bull, you don't even got a goddamn brake stick. What you gonna do when this motherfucker crank on and live up to his ancestors? You gonna be freaking out at the dog park, looking bad on the news. fucking up the game for everybody else. So just get a dog from somebody who just breed for the show or for weight pull or shit like that. Don't get a serious dog from a serious dog, man, if this your first pit bull, because it ain't going to go how you think it's going to go, for real. And that's just to protect the breed. I'd rather a nouveau get a dog from somebody who ain't doing nothing but breeding that shit than a motherfucker who taking this shit, 3-4 times out a year. You can't control that fucking dog, and that's your first dog. Unless your uncle is a seasoned dog man or something like that, you got a good mentor to show you what to do. But if not, fuck no, don't get a dog like that from a serious dog man. If I was still getting dogs, I would, because I like that fucking secret shit. You feel me? But if you're not doing that shit, don't get that type of dog because you're not going to be able to handle it, for real.
Yes. Yeah. So you say you got a Doberman too. Yeah. If you think like you're gonna get a dog like that and then keep it in the crib with the Doberman, they might get along, but I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it at all. You know what I'm saying? But we'll come back to it. Mr. Garcia, what's your thoughts?
It's not like the breeder's just trying to protect himself.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want his name and all that out there. Which is, here's a plug. My registry isn't like that. Is nothing public. If he means papers, registration papers, the breeder, he just don't want his name out there or his dog pedigrees out there. If it's a dog that don't have a pedigree, yeah, I'd stay away from it too. A lot of people handwrite them, that's fine. They know how their dogs are bred, and that's good. But it's a serious breeder with serious dogs, like Ram said, don't, because you might, it could be an accident waiting to happen and you won't be able to handle it. The people have a misconception with pit bulls, thinking they can make them do what they want. You can't make them do shit. You have to preventative maintenance, and you have to be experienced with them. And if the accident does happen, you have to know what to do when it does happen. It's a whole different trip when it's a pit bull on the street getting into it with a pit bull on the street than it is a pit bull on the street getting into it with some little poochie, some cur dog, or some Doberman pincher or something. That's bad.
Right.
Because they will come after you.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, just be careful with that, man. Like, you should probably just go elsewhere if you're looking for just your first time. Like Ram said, first time with a American Pit Bull Terrier. Just get you a dog from a guy who's a good breeder. They got some good dogs, good purebred American Pit Bull Terriers, but you don't want something necessarily that's probably gonna be some super hot shit, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, crank up at 6 months old. You don't know what the fuck. You like, what the fuck? What's wrong with him? I'm gonna get him neutered. He gonna calm down? No, the fuck he not.
Right.
Like, yeah, if this your first time getting one, just don't get no serious dog from a serious dog, man. For real, especially if you already got a Doberman. Like Mr. Garcia said, that shit is gonna turn bad, real bad.
Yeah, I see this. I make fun of it, but I see this all over the world. Non-dog fighter people, they have more accidents than real dog men and dog women.
Hell yeah, they don't never want to get brake stick. They be putting water on the dog. Like, you're really just cooling them off, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. Their houses, they'll show pictures, or vids. Their houses covered in blood, man. Looks like a mass murder went in there.
Like Jason ran through that bitch.
Yeah. It's all over the floor and this and that, because they're not familiar with the pit bull, and they got it with their poochie up to, like you said, 6 months old, and then he turns on, and he's not friendly with your pet. He's gonna kill your cat, kill your bird, kill your lizard or monkey or whatever you got pets there.
Try to knock the fish out the fish tank, all of that shit, whatever move he wanted. That's not a person.
Dog, man, I can't believe you just said that, dude. That just brought, man, that fish tank shit. You ain't lying, bro. That happened to my partner, man. Me and him came home one day by his house and shit, and walked in the house, and he saw his dog was loose and he was pissed off because he used to keep the dog in another room. When he saw that motherfucker was loose, like, what the fuck? This motherfucker got out of the room. Man, his fish tank was like in that room, in the other room, laid on the fucking ground, water all over the place, fish dead. The motherfucker, he was mad as fuck because he had them little what you call them dudes? Them chillers. They start with a C. Chillers.
Oh, yeah, what you call it?
I forgot what that's called, but he liked the motherfucking fish though. He was mad at the motherfucker chillates or some shit.
Yeah, I used to have badass saltwater tanks. I used to be that dude. I had the little Finding Nemos, all that shit. Having fucking house dogs, knock my whole shit over. Whole 1,000-gallon tank. I was like, yeah, fuck that. I ain't fucking with fish no more for as long as I got dogs, man. The motherfuckers want everything that's not a person. They gonna get your fish, all of that, man. You gonna be mad as fuck when you come home and you knocked over your badass fish tank and ate the fish. Like, motherfucker, you just ate $5,000 worth of fish, bitch.
Yeah,
you owe me $5 bands, homie.
Yeah, some other things too is, you know, if you have a mirror in your house, the dog sees it. If you have a sliding glass door and he sees a reflection, if he can look out the window, he'll jump from a 2-story window after he busts out that window, or just a single story home, and they see something outside. You know, people let them loose in the house, and they're okay sometimes for a while, but just things like that. I've seen.
Man, I can't walk my puppy past my Challenger now because he sees his reflection in it, think it's another dog.
That's
Ran head first right into my door. I was like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are some things to think about, you know.
Yeah, just try to get you a dog, man. There's plenty of dogs out here.
Cichlids. That's what them fish call. Yeah, them African cichlids.
Yeah, them shits. Yeah, that's what he had. Yeah, them shits was all over. It was fucking gravel and shit all over the room. He was mad as fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to save the dog from him. He was gonna beat that dog ass. I had to save that motherfucker dog. Oh, speaking of that, I should have put this in the questions, but I forgot. But I'm glad I remember it now. Did y'all hear that PETA wants to take is taking baseball, Major League Baseball, to task about the term bullpen. They want them to change. They want them to change the name from bullpen to something else because they say it's offensive to helpless bulls or some dumb shit like that, man.
Yeah.
I've yet to see a helpless bull though. Like a bull will fuck you up. You get in there fucking around with them. Even the bull that's castrated to give you the business. What the fuck is a helpless bull?
Yeah.
These people crazy, man.
Now, they could have an acre room. You get in their area, they're gonna run you down.
Hell yeah. I've yet to meet one helpless bull in my life. I mean, fuck no.
Last year they want to last year they was trying to petition for people to stop using the term rat when referring to a snitch. Because it's
you're insulting rats or what?
Yeah, you're insulting rats and shit. These people are nuts, man. These people nuts.
There ain't been one cool rat since Ben. What the fuck?
Yeah. and fuck Ben.
Even he
super fuck Ben. Exactly.
He turned on his owner.
Super fuck Ben.
Yeah, Peter wouldn't like me. I kill every rat, every mouse I see, man. And I'm scared of them fuckers too. You want to see me run like a girl? Show me a rat.
Hey, for real, man.
A human one or a four-legged one.
Yeah.
Get me out of here, please.
For real.
Just as a note too, they just passed a non-tethering law in Texas, so now it's illegal to chain your dogs up in Texas.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So there's that.
Damn. Everybody got them kennels now. Kennel runs.
That's fucking weak sauce right there. That's because motherfuckers don't be on it like we was talking about last week, man. If you could vote, pay attention to that shit, man, and combat it. That's dumb as hell. That was one of the strongholds for tethering, you know?
Yeah, people moved there just for that reason, you know. But now they're stuck.
Yeah, because motherfuckers didn't pay attention to the legislation. That's that bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
Man, let me see here. Salute to Servant David in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation, man. Definitely appreciate that support. Somebody in the chat said, can you tell us about the 357 blood? Everybody pretty much know about that blood. That's
Yeah, that was some good blood, man.
That's
Yeah,
that
when I first came home, I hit that camp up, but I didn't know he was stolen. I was trying to get some pups off of him. I like how he was bred. You know, that's who went on to make Macho Buck. You know.
Right.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Buck. Okay.
Yeah, that's Macho Buck Daddy.
Yes, that's the son of STP's Buck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
Well, wait, the grandson, or son of STP's Buck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can't remember if it is.
I knew at 357 back in the day he beat Steve Shorty. Shorty was a white dog. You know, that white blood.
Yeah.
He beat him in 241. And that 357 Magnum was he was a bully son Niggerino.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that's an Eli dog. This dog, REDBOY JOCKO BOLIO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Anybody got any more questions, y'all? Before we pack it in, y'all got any questions in the chat?
Yeah, cause I'm finna go get on this hot air balloon, do some hot air balloon night flying around this bitch.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah. Pop a couple caps of mushrooms and shit. No, I'm joking on the mushrooms, but I am finna go do some hot air balloon shit though. That shit's dope at night.
Yeah, you get along with my daughter, man. She loves that stuff. Jumping out of airplanes and shit.
Yeah, I'm big time adrenaline junkie. I like all that shit. Kick back and calm as I am. I like to go hella fast, do crazy shit. You know, what baby say on House of a Thousand Corpses? I like to get fucked up and do some fucked up shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that damn hot air balloon shit, man. Enjoy yourself, bro. Shit, we're gonna pack it in. We're gonna save some good stuff for next week.
No, we're gonna close it down. We don't never pack it in.
Oh yeah, you know that. You know that.
Yeah.
But y'all salute to the chat, man. Thank y'all for joining us, man. Why don't you give us the disclaimer?
Hey man, as always, y'all be good and stay safe, man. It's the weekend, so if you out there raw dicking, man, just remember to pull out. You feel me? Just have ram head in your voice, just pull out. It ain't worth it. Trust me. Say that shit for somebody who need it. Other than that, none of this shit is intended for or should be used for any illegal purposes or activities. If you is out there doing that shit, stay offline with it and on the phones and all that other shit that'll get your ass cracked. Don't be stupid, man. Stay safe. Have fun, man. Halloween coming up. I got my purge mask, all that. We're finna go up.
Yes, sir. Smash that like button, y'all. Make sure y'all go check out Schoolboy on Facebook, man, and check out.
Hit them up. Get your dogs registered. It's right there, the International Coalition Dog Registry. I'm telling you, that shit is lit. Not one person who I done sent over there yet is fucking had nothing bad to say about it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
All right, yo. How about y'all next week, man? We up out of here.
Peace.
Peace.